Preservation even in demolition. In the face of the demolition of the world and its system, if you can stand with God in holiness and uprightness, you will be sailing while the world is sinking. Scripture, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? Looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of God, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat? 2 Peter chapter 3 verses 11 to 12. Nothing wipes a generation like transgression. To accept vanity is to inherit calamity. Demolition is the act of pulling down, destroying or leveling buildings or structures beyond recovery. It is clear from our anchor scripture that the world and everything in it will one day be dissolved or demolished. In our world today, there is so much degeneration, corruption and wickedness which points to the fact that the world will soon come to an end. 2 Timothy chapter 3 verses 1 to 5. The truth is, the demolition of a generation is connected to the degeneration of that generation. Nothing wipes a generation like transgression. Genesis chapter 6 verses 5 to 7. When Sodom and Gomorrah embraced vanity, they could not escape calamity. Genesis chapter 19 verses 12 to 13. The curses of Balaam could not work against the children of Israel, but the moment they accepted immorality, they inherited tragedy. Numbers chapter 25 verses 1 to 9. Achan stole of the accursed things and his generation was demolished because of it. Joshua chapter 7 verses 18 to 26. What about Gehazi? None of his relatives or descendants saw him when he collected the gifts Naaman brought that Elisha rejected, yet his entire generation courted the plague of leprosy. 1 Kings chapter 5 verses 21 to 27. Beloved, the disaster of compromise is heavier than its dividends. But righteousness is a preserver. In the face of the demolition of the world and its system, if you can stand with God in holiness and uprightness, you will be sailing while the world is sinking. Remember this, nothing wipes a generation like transgression. To accept vanity is to inherit calamity.